All right, so today's topic we are going to consider is the software testing. Now, this is the next phase after the coding in the SDLC. In the SDLC, we have the requirement analysis, then we do the designing part, and then we code, and finally we test parallel to the implementation. So let's understand what is the software testing. Basically, I have written it in points so that it becomes very clear to you all, and you can easily fetch out MCQ based questions from this, as your exam will be based on MCQ, right? So it is a process. Software testing is a process of executing program with the intent of finding errors. So the main objective also, if I ask what is the main objective of software testing, so the main objective of testing is to find the errors. The tester is going to find out as many as uncovered errors as possible. So that is the main agenda regarding the testing. It identifies all the defects in a program, because you are going to test the source code, that is the program. So you are going to, or the tester is going to find all the defects in the program. What is an effective testing? Effective testing will be the testing which will uncover maximum number of errors leading to approximately equal to zero errors. Why I am saying approximately equal to zero? Because there is no end point of testing, right? Testing also goes on in the maintenance phase, right? So effective testing will lead to 4 points. First point is delivery of quality software. Second point, the users will be more satisfied. Third, it will have low maintenance cost. And fourth, it is going to be a more accurate software, which is a reliable one, right? So if you have done the testing in a rigorous manner and effectively, then these are the points which are going to work on or will give you an output, that is the quality of software will be enhanced, the users will be satisfied, you will have low maintenance cost, the software will be more reliable and more accurate, right? If you have done ineffective testing, then what will it be leading to? It will lead to opposite results. When I say opposite results, the quality of the software will be low, maintenance cost will be high, the users will not be satisfied, and the software will not be reliable and accurate. Hence, it is an essential activity, right? So software testing is considered to be a very important part of SDLC when working with the software or when developing the software, right? Now, what are the basic objectives of software testing? So I have already told you, but more on it, that is the intent of finding maximum errors is the main objective. That means we are going to detect all these software failures. We are going to verify and validate the software. We are going to collect all the data during the testing, which is going to provide us the indication that the software will be reliable and will be of high quality. So you can see these are interrelated. If you know what testing is and what is the process of testing, you can easily define what are the advantages of testing and what are the objectives of testing, right? Now, the question arises, who is going to test? Who should test? There are two people, mainly the developer and the independent tester. In some firms, practically, the developer is the only one who is going to test in small teams or small software products. But that is not the right way. You should have an independent tester to move towards the effective testing. Why is this so? Because you must have seen that if you write a program on your own, very simple program, and that is not very lengthy even, but it is difficult. If you compile it and execute it, there is an error. Let's say if there is an error, then it is difficult for you to find out the error, right? So it is a psychological fact that the person who is writing the code, for him it is not so easy to detect the errors. But for an independent tester, it will be a more easier task to find out the errors as compared to the developer. It is considered that the advantage the software developer is testing is the developer understands the system very well, but the developer will test very gently. He is not going to easily find out the errors, and the developer is driven by the deadline, so he is in hurry to complete the task. Next, independent tester. What is the disadvantage? An independent tester must learn the system. He should have the complete knowledge of the detailed program code, but he will attempt to break it and is driven to by the quality, right? So it is considered that independent tester should be there in a team to test the software. But in some conditions, there are the developers. Let's say in further slides, we will see that in unit testing, the developers are the one who are going to test, not the independent tester during the unit testing. But during the integration testing, the software testers are going to test integration testing during the integration testing. In further case, we will see that when we have system testing, then the user is also involved. The end user is also involved in the testing part. He or she also tests it. When it comes to the acceptance testing, we will see all these types of testing. So we can say that basically the main person who is involved for testing is the software tester, but end user and developer can also be a part of the software testing to make it more efficient. Now, next question arises: what is an error? What is a bug? What is a fault? And what is a failure? We all have encountered these particular words and we are very familiar with these particular words, but basically what is the difference? Sometimes we replace this particular words or terminologies, as error is replaced by bug, bug is replaced by fault. So, but they are different. But they are actually different. How they are different? Let's see it. It is important to understand. Whenever a person makes a mistake, that is an error, right? Any human action that produces the incorrect result, any human action that produces incorrect result, right, that results in fault is what? Error. So error is not fault. Error is made a mistake by the human action, and the result of this particular error, when it gives an incorrect result, that is what is fault is, right? Now what is a bug? Bug is the presence of error at the time of execution of the software, right? When you execute the software and you encounter the mistake, that is a bug, right? This is a technical term for the engineers, software engineers. Now next comes the failure. Now what is this failure? Failure is the difference or the deviation between the expected result and the actual result. So the difference between the actual result and the expected result is what is the state or an event, that is what failure is. So a person makes an error, and this error, when executed, when encountered in the execution process, it is a bug. The state of failure, the state when the software causes an error, incorrect result, that is fault, and finally the operation is termed to be as the failure. So this is like a sequence. Due to this error, you can see a bug. Due to this bug, there is a fault, and due to this fault, there can be a failure. This is a sequence, or this is a hierarchy we can follow. Now, as we have seen that there is a life cycle of everything, we also have emerged with the life cycle of testing, software testing life cycle. What we do sometimes, it is a myth that the testing only starts after the completion of the project, but no, it starts parallelly. Once you have the project initiated, the requirement analysis is done, then in the design phase only the testing starts, right? Because the testers should also very well understand the project and the requirements. So project initiation, the system study is done, According to the functionalities, the test plans are generated, the design of test cases are defined, these test cases are executed, the report of defects will be prepared, regression testing will be done, analysis will be done, and the report will be submitted. So this is what this is a life cycle of testing, right? Now, what are the objectives of a software tester? So basically, when we define the objectives of testing, those are the same objectives of a software tester. Why? The software tester should find first of all the bugs, but one more thing is there, that he should find the bugs as early as possible so that they can be fixed at the early stage. Why is this so? Because if the bugs are left and they are not corrected in the early stage, they will lead to fault and failure at the next stages, and that will lead to higher maintenance cost. So that is why it is said that the bugs should be encountered and fixed as early as possible. The another objective of software tester should be that the software tester should understand the application very well. He should study the functionality in detail so that he can find out where the errors or the bugs can be found. The study of code is to be ensured that each and every line of code is tested. Now, the tester should also make sure that he has done a rigorous testing. When I say rigorous testing, I mean to say that he has encountered or he has worked out all the independent paths. As I have told you in the earlier lecture also, independent path means all the branches should be covered and all the test results should be checked. So as example, I have taken in the independent, let's say if you are going to find out whether a student have attendance more than 75, he will give the test, else he will not. So if the attendance is less than 75, the path should also be checked on that particular point. And if it is greater than 75, then also it should be checked. So the tester should give the input value, test input value as, let's say 68, which is less than 75, and also as 79, which is greater than 75, right? So this is how the code should be checked. That is, every line of the code should be checked. Because sometimes branches are left alone. Only one branch is executed for testing. Create test cases in such a way that testing is done to uncover the hidden bugs and also ensure that the software is usable and reliable. So these are the objectives of a software tester, right? So I think you should have understood this particular part very well.